The end of an epic 9-film arc, The Rise of Skywalker has a near-impossible task of wrapping up cinema's most celebrated space saga. Here are some fun production details to get you pumped, plus some supposedly leaked plot points that just might come into fruition. Warning, major spoilers ahead, potentially. One new planet we'll be visiting in The Rise of Skywalker is called Pasaana, a world of sand and unforgiving sun. Yeah, another one. The planet, which is actually the Wadi Rum Desert Valley in southern Jordan, will seemingly play host to a pivotal moment in The Rise of Skywalker. We saw Rey jumping over a TIE fighter on a very Jordanian-looking landscape in the first Episode 9 teaser trailer, as well as Finn and Poe skidding on sand. At this stage, all we know for sure about Pasaana is that it's home to the Aki-Aki, a native race being played by Jordanian locals. Rumors that Red Stormtroopers would be appearing in The Rise of Skywalker have been doing the rounds online for months before Lucasfilm finally confirmed them. According to StarWars.com, these fearsome-looking soldiers are known as Sith Troopers, but there's more going on here than just a simple palette swap. Speaking for a feature on StarWars.com, Lucasfilm archivist Madeline Burkett broke down the Sith Trooper uniform, saying, "It has some really unique aesthetics to it, and it has some subtle ties to previous Stormtrooper designs, which I think fans will enjoy discovering." Episode 9 director J.J. Abrams seems equally excited about the introduction of the Sith Troopers, saying that he cannot wait for fans to meet his new batch of baddies. Abrams said, "The materials, the color, the lines, there is something about the aesthetic of it that just felt absolutely right." Who the Sith Troopers serve remains a mystery. Some are convinced they'll do the bidding of the returning Emperor Palpatine, while other sources report they'll only answer to Kylo Ren. It's been reported by leakers and self-proclaimed insiders that Rey will be getting a new lightsaber in The Rise of Skywalker. And if you believe that special look teaser shown at D23, that weapon might have more in common with Darth Maul than Darth Vader.
Ridiculous. Shh. Grown-ups are talking.
The footage drove the audience wild, according to Cinema Blend, who spoke with Daisy Ridley about the apparent darkseid reveal. Ridley said she felt nervous about how the footage would be received, but that, quote, "hearing the audience reaction was amazing." But the actress kept quiet when asked if viewers should take the whole Dark Rey thing at face value.
We'll see.
Like many in Star Wars before her, new character Zorii Bliss was first introduced by her looks rather than her personality. Was she a hero, a villain, or a little bit of both? Either way, fans agreed on one thing: she looked like a rose gold version of Boba Fett. A Vanity Fair feature described the dual blaster carrying Bliss as a marked scoundrel who hangs out in a disreputable place called the Thieves' Quarter on the snowy planet of Kijimi. Actress Kerry Russell has since revealed even more info, describing her as a cool and shady type, a criminal of sorts, and a friend of Poe Dameron. She went into more detail when Variety spoke to her and co-star Oscar Isaac.
She has a little bit of a checkered past and maybe some questionable morals, but really, she's an old friend of Poe's.
Does that mean Dameron and Bliss have a romantic history? Or did they just used to do star crimes together?
It's complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Excited Twitter users are already stanning their relationship, except for those who are still holding on to hope for Finn and Poe. Rumors that The Rise of Skywalker would go out of its way to tie all the previous Star Wars movies together have been floating around for a couple of years now. The specifics of this overarching connection remain a mystery, but from the little we've seen of the movie so far, it's clear the movie isn't skimping on nostalgia. This theme of bringing it all together was central at D23 Expo 2019, where a sizzle reel featuring iconic shots from throughout the series was screened. While The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi have already done quite a bit to call back to the original trilogy, fans can now hope that the mysteries of Star Wars might come full circle, exploring questions and bringing backstory material that was first introduced in the prequel trilogy. But it's probably not midichlorians, and hopefully not this guy either. Have we really seen the last of Harrison Ford's Han Solo? Some people don't think so. It's been reported for a while that Han will appear as a Force ghost in The Rise of Skywalker and help turn his son back to the light. This comes by way of Jedi Paxis, a redditor and moderator of the Star Wars Leaks forum, who claims to have compiled a detailed breakdown of Episode 9 via various inside sources. Lots of people think it's true, but take it with a grain of salt and all that. According to the leak, Kylo Ren and Rey will engage in an epic lightsaber battle on the wreckage of the second Death Star, from which Rey will emerge triumphant. It's in that moment of defeat for Kylo that Han will reportedly appear and coax his wayward son back to the light. Shocking, huh?
What are you talking about?
That said, plenty of fans are scratching their heads about how exactly a Han Force Ghost would work, especially since the only Force we ever saw that guy using was Garden Variety Lethal Force. While many are convinced that Kylo Ren is in for a redemption arc, mirroring his grandfather's last-minute change of heart in Return of the Jedi, fans are having a hard time believing Han will be the one to do it, no matter what a leak says. Some are theorizing that the leaked Han detail may be Obi-Wan killed your father style misdirection, and that the real movie will see Anakin himself appear as a Force ghost. But there's not much evidence out there for that yet. Either way, it's looking pretty likely that Ben Solo won't finish this series as a bad guy. What was up with C-3PO's red eyes in that D23 footage? Well, apparently it's a long story, and a pretty sad one as well. If leaks are to be believed, our heroes discover a dagger on Pasaana, with a message engraved on it that none of them can understand. Even C-3PO can't translate it because of limitations in his programming. Eventually, Poe Dameron intervenes, claiming to have a contact that can help 3PO translate the ancient writing. Kerry Russell's Zori Bliss. Russell's character introduces the gang to an alien friend of hers who knows how to unlock the message. But if rumors about the plot of Episode 9 are indeed true, our heroes face a huge dilemma involving their beloved droid. Is red-eyed C-3PO what happens after he cracks the code? Is he forever altered? Or do our heroes find another way? We'll have to wait and see. Rumor has it that the true extent of Rey's powers will be revealed in The Rise of Skywalker, and one previously unknown ability will come to the fore pretty early on in the movie. After the heroes meet up with Lando on Pasaana, they supposedly end up in a series of underground tunnels. These tunnels in the desert were created by a huge sand creature, who isn't particularly pleased with their intrusion, at least not to begin with. The crew look like they're done for when the creature corners them, but according to leaks, Rey uses a new force power which allows our heroes to escape. The exact nature of this power and its implications will leave a mystery, but Rey also reportedly uses this newfound power in a later scene, with far greater consequences. The rumor that General Hux will be revealed as a mole in The Rise of Skywalker is more than a year old now, so even if you believe nothing else from the movie's many alleged leaks, this detail may indeed be legit. The rivalry between Hux and Kylo Ren has been steadily building over the course of the previous two films, reaching a critical turning point when Kylo took out Snoke and assumed control of the First Order. According to leaked plot details, it's revealed pretty early on in Episode 9 that the Resistance has been dealing with an alien informant who has been acting as a middleman between a certain First Order mole and our heroes. If you buy the legitimacy of the leaks, Hux is revealed to be the mole at a critical juncture. But as they say, no good deed goes unpunished. So it's likely that Hux's betrayal will have some serious repercussions, if this whole Hux the Mole gossip even turns out to be true. The news that Billy D. Williams was reprising his iconic Star Wars role in The Rise of Skywalker was huge for fans of the original trilogy. Since the announcement, people have been theorizing about what Lando Calrissian could have been doing since we last saw him. According to leaked plot details, Lando has been laying low on Pasaana, the sandy world that's set to feature prominently in the final installment of the Skywalker saga. It's also rumored that Lando reveals to the heroes that he's the father of a child, one who was taken away from him at an early age. It's long been theorized that Naomi Ackies Jannah is the daughter of Lando Calrissian. A new character was revealed at Star Wars Celebration 2019, and fans couldn't help but notice that her blue and yellow costume, complete with a cape, looks an awful lot like Calrissian's getup from the original trilogy.
Hello, what have we here?
Speculation surrounding Rey's parents have been rife ever since Kylo Ren told her that they were nothing but filthy junk traders in The Last Jedi. Some fans were convinced that the hero of the sequel trilogy had Skywalker blood running through her veins, and when the title of Episode 9 was revealed, many believe that J.J. Abrams planned to do some retconning. However, according to the latest leaks, The Rise of Skywalker will reveal that Rey is actually the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. It might sound far-fetched, but it would explain why the Force is so strong with her. Rumors say that Rey's parents were killed on Jakku because they tried to conceal her from Sith loyalists. This would mean that Palpatine fathered a child at some stage. Is this possible? Well, George Lucas's abandoned TV show, Star Wars Underworld, did plan to reveal that Palpatine once had his heart broken by a woman with ties to criminal gangs on Coruscant. It would be a pretty bold move for the story to take, that's for sure. A great deal of the Rise of Skywalker chatter has centered around Emperor Palpatine ever since the debut of the teaser trailer. He didn't appear in the teaser, but his infamous evil cackle did. And to make sure there was no misunderstanding about what that meant, actor Ian McDiarmid appeared on stage right after the footage premiered at Star Wars Celebration 2019. We didn't get a full shot of Palpatine in the final trailer either, but the character was a much bigger presence this time around. We do, however, get a shot of his new throne in the final trailer, only it isn't a new throne at all. This imposing, jagged structure was actually inspired by an old sketch that legendary concept artist Ralph McQuarrie drew when he was working on Return of the Jedi. Lucasfilm's creative art manager Phil Shostak pointed this out on Twitter, using a side-by-side comparison to show how the throne in McQuarrie's sketch and the one in the movie are basically identical. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about the Skywalker saga are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.